Hey guys, Furum here, and today I'm going to be testing the Kawasaki Ninja H2R in multiplayer for the second time, this time at 1677 rank. My tuning is a little weird, so be prepared for it. 2545, and in Pro Kits, 5152. I know it's completely lopsided and not like anything I have done on any other cars, but I ran out of pro parts, and this car really needed better drifting, and I also think it needed better acceleration too, and so, yeah, it looks kind of random, but I did choose to do it the way I did it for a reason, and it ended up being fairly good. So in this race, we have another Kawasaki Ninja H2R, who I actually found quite a few times. He's at a rank of 1670, and he's on purple team as well. E.T. Mars Phoenix, I believe his name is. We also have the MP425 that just barreled beside us, as well as an Apollo that was ahead, but then wrecked and got put quite far back. So, this is a one-lap race on San Diego Harbor Reverse. You cannot actually take the lower route in the bikes because they tend to jump higher, and they'd probably just hit the roof and wreck, so that's why I took the upper route. However, the MP425 that was right beside me was able to take the lower route, but because of my faster speed and supercharged by like 20 miles per hour, I was able to pull ahead for the win. So in this race, we beat that 1667 MP425, as well as that other Kawasaki Ninja, and a 1712 Apollo. Poor guy. Now for a race on Alps against two Apollo Intensa Emotions as well as an R8 SE. Speaking of the R8 SE, I've upgraded it to a rank of 1524, which is 1505, 5555, because I finally got enough engines to pro it out. Sometime soon, probably next week, I will be releasing a video about that. And don't forget, Purple Team Versus, the results of the first challenge are going to be coming on Sunday or Monday. And in that video, I will also tell you guys what the next challenge is going to be. So here I have to wag a bit because of this bike's quite bad nitro efficiency. Yes, I said bike there instead of car. If I say car instead of bike, forgive me, it is a force of habit. So at this rank, this bike goes 304 miles per hour with supercharge. This is about 8 miles per hour slower than my Apollo IE around the same rank, and because I was not able to get much supercharge throughout this race, that Apollo just pulled further and further ahead and thus was able to win. However, he was not that far ahead, and I did beat a 1698 Apollo as well as a Max Pro 1695 R8 e-tron Special Edition. Speaking of e-tron Special Edition, we have another one in this race. So this race is quite interesting because it's the first race in the video where a Kawasaki glitch really comes into play. So I am faster than this R8 SE by approximately 8 miles per hour, because he goes 296, 297-ish, and as you can see, I am pulling slightly further away from him. However, you do have to keep in mind, this bike has bad nitro efficiency, and the R8 SE has quite good nitro efficiency. Here we can see this bike goes 321 miles per hour when supercharged, and that was the first of our many bike glitches of the video, just randomly bouncing into the air for no reason. So because of my superior speed, even though I've been bumping the wall a lot because this bike is extremely difficult to handle, I have been able to stay quite far ahead of this R8 SE and am just getting further ahead. So had this been a one-lap race, there would not have been a problem. However, I run into a problem on the beach, hit the wall, and hit the other wall then, and kind of randomly explode. If you go back and see it, I did not actually hit the wall in such a way that I should have exploded. However, we are not too far behind this R8 SE still, and I was able to keep supercharged throughout a lot of this, and thus continuously go quite a lot faster than this R8 SE. And then, of course, the bike glitches again, and I randomly hit the wall. Thankfully, I'm able to drift out of it, but it is still super annoying. I do not know why they made this bike so glitchy, whether it was intentional or not. So here I go up to get more supercharge, and he wrecks on something, I don't know what, but I was very happy about that, and since the finish line is right around the corner, I should not have to worry about any more problems. And thankfully I did not, and I came in first again, even with quite a few problems throughout that race. And that R8 SE was Max Pro'd, so that's the best he could possibly be. Now for a race on Crystal Lake in which you can really see the Kawasaki Ninja's speed come into play. Because in this race we have an Apollo IE, an MP431, a Homage, and a Camaro all above 1700 rank, except for the Camaro, which was at 1687 I believe. So of course the Apollo catches up fairly quickly and gets ahead because he is like 8 miles per hour faster faster, as I said earlier. However, I then get into supercharge, and I'm able to stay well over 300 miles per hour, but then I hit the side, and thankfully I'm able to get up to my speed quickly, and that is where the acceleration really comes into play. If I had not upgraded acceleration, I don't exactly know how it would do. And if I had not upgraded handling, I do not think I would have been able to get around that turn way back there without falling off the edge into the waterfall. Thankfully, this is only a one-lap race, so I only have to survive a little while longer without randomly wrecking or messing up in some other way. And because most Apollo drivers around this rank are quite skilled, I figured that I would probably come in second in this race. Because even though I'm faster with supercharge than that Apollo IE by around 9 or so miles per hour, it was right near the end of the race, and there's no way I'd be able to catch up to him. So we lost to a 1713 Apollo, but we did beat a 1687 Camaro, 1739 MP431, and 1703 Homage. Now for a race on Tokyo against 3 Apollo IEs as well as an MP425. Who, as you will be able to see, is actually slower than me by a little bit, maybe like 5 miles per hour or so, but as you can see here, I am able to pull ahead and thus take the lead early on in the race, because this bike does have quite good acceleration. Maybe equal to the Apollo's or better, but here something weird happens. I touch the Apollo and I just randomly explode in the middle of the road, and that just rhymed, and okay, never mind. That rhymed too! Oh my goodness! This may sound a little weird, but I'm actually glad, for one reason in particular, that you still lose points when you leave in free race. Because this causes me, when I'm making a video, to not leave early on in a race when something like that happens. Even though I'm in 4 out of 5 right now, you never know what could happen later in the race. And losing points in free race if I leave stops me from making impulse decisions early on. As you can see here, somehow I've now caught up completely to this Apollo and this MP425 right here. Unfortunately, I run out of nitro because, again, this bike, has horrible nitro efficiency. I caught it that time. And I just managed to clip the edge and thus jump up here too. Now I have supercharge. I was thinking, okay, maybe I can have just enough speed to pass this MP425, maybe the Apollo too. I do manage to pass the MP425 before the end of the race, thus coming in third, beating him as well as a 1684 Apollo. 2 lower Apollos beat us, which is interesting. Just goes to show you that a car's rank or tune is not the only thing that matters. The drivers also have to be good. Now for another race on San Diego Harbor Reverse, in which we face the same bike that we faced earlier in this video on San Diego Harbor Reverse again, as well as 2 Apollos, which actually apparently start up slower than the bikes, but then because of their better speed, they do manage to pull ahead. It was quite fun racing this other Kawasaki Ninja from Purple Team because, well, I don't really see many bikes out there in multiplayer, and it's fun having some competition against some other ones of them. By the way, another reason that I upgraded handling is so that not only would I be able to get around turns better, but also because it will be easier now to get stunt zones. And unfortunately, the bike glitched a bit and went to the left without me telling it to, and thus I had problems and fell off into the water and got put behind everybody. But I have had too many past experiences to think that, okay, well, this is how it's going to stay, I'm going to come in fourth. I figured that somebody would probably make a mistake somewhere along the way, and I'd be able to come in a better position. And here, we are neck and neck with this other bike again. This was actually really fun playing with you. If you're watching this video, thanks for being in these races. So he wrecked back there on something, possibly on the ramp, and so I have left to catch up to the 2 Apollos, which is not going to happen since I have lower speed without supercharge. But then, one of them wrecks and gets put back behind me. Yeah, really far back. And then he leaves the race, but I would have beat him had he stayed in the race, because I don't think the speed difference is enough for him to be able to catch up to me. And maybe not, because I wrecked, but I don't know. Anyways, I'm coming in second, he disconnected, and there we go. One thing I do want to point out, this bike's supercharge does not last very long because of the bike's nitro efficiency not being very good. So here we beat the 1666 Apollo, but got beat by a 1684 one, which is an extremely overpowered tune, if I do say so myself. Now for our final race of the video, in which we are facing the same bike as previously, as well as a Sin R1 and Apollo around our rank. So this bike does, in fact, speed up quicker than all of those cars. So that is a very good thing. You do not want to be in a bike where you start up slower than most of the other cars around you, because then there's a very good chance you'll get knocked down at the beginning, because obviously you can't knock anybody down, but they can knock you down because there will be cars, and cars knock down bikes quite easily. So this race was going pretty well. I had a lot of supercharge because there are a lot of ramps on this track, and so I was able to keep up with this Apollo quite well. And I took the shortcut, and he didn't, and so I actually ended up quite ahead of him at this point in the track. And then this happened. My bike randomly hit the side, then turned around, and then went to one side, then hit the other side, and then hit the other side, and then hit the other side. And yeah, it took me a while to get it back under control, and by that point, he was quite far ahead. And the car that's behind me quite a bit back there, but still fairly close, is a Sin R1, who I didn't actually know was in this race at the time because he was quite far behind, and the Sin R1 only goes a couple miles per hour faster than this car at this rank, and that's without me having supercharged. So yeah, I wasn't really worried about him. So I guess I'll now give my general review of this bike. As I said in previous videos, it would be really good if it weren't for the glitches. As you've seen throughout this video, it can compete very well against the Apollos and other stuff around this rank when it doesn't have problems. Like that. And that actually allowed the Sin R1 to catch up to me, pass me, but then thankfully I was able to somehow stay ahead and come into second position, with him just one frame behind me. Yes, one frame. So unfortunately, this bike is not reliable enough to use in ticket races. Thank you all for watching. Please like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more Asphalt 8 content, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!